Welcome everybody to another Voice of Nick, whatever you call this, illustrating stream. We're doing our Posthomerica stuff again. We're right where we left off here. And currently we're doing the refined line art for Paris. I would really like to do another pass on this guy. I think maybe we could have him pointing his spear past Philoctetes, because we have this great kind of, line of action of like him pointing with his bow. She's pointing because she's telling him to shoot, and he's just standing there. But if he had his spear pointing out as well, it would be a great kind of like triangulation on the subject here. All right, so we got a plan. Now we keep going. Or let's turn this a little bit more translucent because it's kind of hard to tell the difference here. It's like the guidelines are kind of getting in my way here. Hold on, let's get rid of this. Get rid of that little nub there. And we'll do the other half. Welcome, Plot King. We're doing more of our Posthomerica stuff. We're adding some of the details back onto Paris. Good. Okay, so now, what else did we want on this part? I think we're done with the upper body sections. We have this new bow and arrow wrist guard thing that we have. Yeah, let's go in that direction then. Let's put these things on first. Let me look at my bow and arrow wrist guard reference. It looks like there's some kind of buckles there. So Okay. We'll have like a buckle and then a thing like this. We don't want any of this to be black or else it'll look like it's not part of his body, but we can see what happens if we make this little strip black, because it's not at the edge, so it might still read as being separate, or rather a piece of the whole. Good. I don't know what this thing is. But it shows up on my reference, so I'm going to put it in and we'll see what happens. Welcome Panda Morado into the show. We are doing some of our illustrations here. Welcome on in. Yeah, I think this will work because it's not connected to the edge. We'll see. We'll turn the background black and see what happens. Let's cut out pieces of this actually. Because we're dealing in imagery that's very small compared to the larger picture. We don't want to get too small or else it's not going to be readable. Yeah. Good. Do we want something like this? Yeah, maybe that's good. Like the edges of the strap or something. Okay, we're just gonna assume that that works. I think that's gonna work. Now, let's give him a more interesting bow as well. So let's look on Google Images for, I'm just gonna look for a picture of a Greek bow. We don't want it to be more interesting than Philoctetes' bow. Well, his bow shape is like a, whatever that is, like a W. And this one's more of like a U shape. Okay, this is pretty cool. Let me use this. Okay. Keep grabbing the wrong reference pictures. Okay. Oh, I put all that, I put my reference picture upside down by accident. Okay. Let's do this on a different layer. And we'll just get rid of this guide because I don't need it right now. Okay. We actually shouldn't even be doing this in front of his hand because that's going to screw with the way that we make the pictures. Let's show us anywhere else. I'm going to turn this so that it's facing in the same direction as what I'm drawing. We really only need to draw 1/2 of it as well, same as Philoctetes. Because obviously we can just duplicate it to make it exactly the same on the other half. So this will be somewhere around the halfway point here. We don't care about anything further down than that. Okay, the outline of the outside of the outline doesn't matter. The inside is what matters, because everything's on a black background, so we won't see what's on the outside of the outline. Like this, you could have whatever on the outside, it doesn't matter. But let's get a couple of details on here. Maybe we'll do something. Okay, we're not going to put a pattern in here yet because that'll mess with, it'll get messed up when we duplicate it. That's kind of cool. Yeah. Now we'll just clean some of this so that it doesn't, the only time when the outside of the outline matters is if, like, for example, his bow intersects with Aphrodite's leg or something. So we don't want these if we don't have to have them. Okay, now let's grab this. We're gonna copy what we have selected. We're gonna, oops, not cut it. We're gonna paste it. I pressed cut again. Paste. And then, it's not letting me grab the thing. So that's exactly duplicated. Yeah, that's pretty damn cool. I kind of actually like that better than Philoctetes' bow now. Sorry, Philoctetes. Paris is famously, a very accomplished archer, though, so I think it's fine. They should both have significant bows, is what I mean to say. Doesn't really matter what's on this part because it's not going to be visible. Okay, let's get rid of the excess. Okay, what angle did I used to have his thing at? It was a little bit tilted, I guess. This tool is better for moving stuff, I find, because it doesn't snap to a grid. I wish there was just a snap button, but there's not. So I could turn the snapping on and off, Perfect. Now the bow is in his hand. And then we can merge these layers. And we'll put a string on it, I guess. Probably need one of those. Ah! Oh no! That's okay. It's so annoying when it crashes. So, unfortunately, we have to redo some of the stuff we just did. iOS Photoshop really, it gives me a hard time, but I do still really like it. So whatever. Take the blows as they come. The way I figure it, if we're worth our salt, we'll be able to recreate anything we've created. Okay. Good. Merge those. We're pretty lucky that we didn't lose more progress, to be honest. We want that line to connect to the other thing. Yeah, like that. Okay. Now we'll just grab it. We really could have just drawn a straight line anywhere and then done this. Good. Do a little stretch. Move it like that. Great. Okay, see, there's nothing to get upset about. The thing about losing progress, and it's the same in, I always talk about Dark Souls games, or Souls games in general. Not getting upset when you die. Because if you lose your progress, you don't lose the memories that came with getting to where you got to. So your skills are still getting better, and you're remembering how to do whatever it was you did. So it's not going to take the same amount of time the second time as it did the first time. So it's never really that big a deal, or not as big a deal as it seems like. So now we'll save it. You can force a save if you quit out of the document and come back in on mobile. Why doesn't this have a... Did we never name this? I guess we never named it. Alright, so Paris has a pretty nicely designed bow now. I like that. Let's go back into our ref file, and we'll just keep building out his character here. Yeah, it's like, because my design for Paris here is based on an existing piece of Greek pottery, and when we put down the initial drawings, we follow, whenever we have a piece of reference like this, we follow the original pretty closely. And then when we come back in for these refined ones, we add in a lot of extra things that make it our own, more of our own design. The question is, do we want something here? I don't know what it would be, though. That's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so why do I always get a runny nose when I try to do these art streams? One of life's great mysteries. No, it's too crowded. I think we should have an empty bottom part to accentuate the interesting design. You have to have a flow of detail, or else it just looks like clutter. It's kind of like a visual pacing. Yeah, like that I think is too much. That's more interesting. It's more striking. And this, of course, kind of matches the design of his, whatever you call that pant thing that they wear. So as you can see here, we're not really following the the drawing of our original thing, but we're using it as a reference for the sort of contour of where the overall thing goes. So the reference picture is useful for multiple reasons. Or not the reference, but the rough sketch, rather. Yep. That's the really annoying thing about mobile Photoshop. Okay, so I have this concept of like this thing being tied up here. And then what? It would have to go around the edge, number one. Maybe there's like a little thing on the corner that snaps it in or something. So it would go like this. And this is like, we're designing essentially how his arrow belt thing attaches to his body and would be practical. So we're gonna do that. And we'll put another thing around this. Just a lot of straps, I guess. Okay. Unfortunately, we lose some of the more interesting details by doing this. Okay, let's lose this strap then. That's the thing, there is a consideration of form in addition to function, of like, you shouldn't really, if it's gonna hurt the intrigue of the picture, you can come up with another design that works just as well. Because I like this, you know, ocean wave motif, whatever this is. Let's get rid of our reference for a second. Maybe it snaps in over here. Yeah, I think that's just as good. Okay. we're not going to be able to see any arrows if we don't make them thicker than lines. I had them as lines in my other drawing. Yeah, we'll do it like that. And the arrowheads wouldn't really have any fletching. I guess maybe this one might. We'll put it on one of them. Maybe this one. And that's it. Okay. Some kind of car alarm going off. So now we have our new idea of the leg armor, which we're putting on him. That's basically my last resort for any character. I just put leg armor on them. Makes it look more Greek. Let's try to come up with an interesting concept for this. I don't know what it would be. What if we did like some kind of like similar to how certain Second Age elves in the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings films look, with this kind of like segmented armor. Is that cool? Let's take a look. Yeah, that's pretty cool. If we're gonna do that, let's lose the border. Actually, let's do this on a separate layer. We'll use what we just made as a reference. And then we'll merge that into this layer. No, I think the top part actually should be... Let's see if we like that. No, I like the other one better. See, that's why we do it on a different layer. Okay, gonna get rid of that one. Do this. And then let's take off the guides for a second. Do we like this? Maybe put some extra details onto it. I mean, it would just be like a leather strap, so it's not going to be that detailed, but that extra line does add something to it, I think. Yeah, I like this design for Paris. Now this is kind of a challenging leg for us because it's not really anatomically correct, but it's fits within the aesthetic of what these Greek artists would do at the time, which is to say, like, it's following a 90-degree angle from the camera. So both of his legs are kind of twisted in a way that you wouldn't really have, but it works with this, and we want to somehow rectify that where it doesn't feel wrong. Yep, good, okay. Now, the way that they did his foot in this picture I'm looking at, it's a rare instance where it's not a 90-degree angle, but rather a very strangely contorted sort of, we're seeing like the back part of his foot. But they don't really bother to put a lot of the details in. We'll see if we like this or not. Because they make his foot look kind of like a hoof in their version, and you know, that's fine, because these kind of pictures, you're not really going for like photorealism, but it might feel too weird. Okay. Is that everything for Paris? I think it is. Yeah, we just do the arrow after that. So first we want to get him in with the same background color. We'll just start from up here and move our way down. And strangely, that's why. It does have, I was thinking, why does it feel like it has the bones turned on? Welcome Azure Tundra to the show. こんにちは。今日元気ですか？今この美術を作っています。パリ、多分彼の洋服はもっともっとコンプレックスとなりました。今これはもっと自分のデザインですね。It's sort of like more our design now than it. Sometimes we just sort of pull from another picture, like we'll put a character almost identically in to like fill out a scene and kind of like as an artistic nod. But this, while he is very similar, we added a lot of our own elements to him. It's funny how this orange looks totally strange in the context of where we are right now. But then when we put it against the black background, it just looks right. Sometimes it works out that way. We might want to make a little bit darker of a outline for this bow, but we'll see. It doesn't really matter how dark it is, obviously, when there's a black background, but it might matter how much of the orange seeps through the outline. Let's turn on the bones for this. And obviously we have a outline around the bowstring because the bowstring is black, so it would not show up against a black background unless we put an outline around it. We're gonna have to do that with various other parts, but we'll see which ones when we add the background. It's actually really hard to use this pencil and keep it within the lines now because we're working at such a small scale. But it doesn't really matter because we're never going to see it this small. Like, it's important to remember the overall size of the picture. We don't want to work on details that are so small that it'll never be seen. A lot of the details we're adding will probably never be seen depending on the device used. Many of them definitely won't be. If a person's on like an iPad reading it, a lot of them will be visible. But like many of the Kindles and like an iPhone or something, it's not going to be visible at all. Uh-oh, we're drawing on top of the... Hold it. Okay, good, we didn't do anything on top of the background layer, or foreground layer. Let's save it. See, like that little rogue piece of line won't show up on the black background either. Is there saying, 僕も元気。最近クリスマスから新しい枕をありました。もらった。そして今毎晩素晴らしい寝てました。I got a new pillow for Christmas, made for like side sleepers, which is what I am, and it's really great. It's like I'm getting a really good night's sleep now, every night. This arm's a little longer than it should be, but those kind of things with this type of art, it's like it almost works at its advantage to keep it a little bit away from like anatomical correct stuff, because I think that's part of the charm, is like when the characters have like strange limbs. I don't know, there's something about it. It's kind of like a signature of Greek artwork for me, of some of the more interesting ones, I mean. So you're saying, are the figures' costumes getting fancier? Yeah, well, as we go through the, different, like in this picture, for example, yes, because you do the first pass, which is just like for composition, and then you do like a really rough pass to get their figures in. Then you do a regular rough pass, which is what we previously did where we add in like their costumes and all the pieces, but not really caring about like the particular details. And this pass, where we're actually refining the line art, that's where we make the costume have all its extra little bells and whistles. So yes, they get fancier within the picture, but you might be talking about, are they getting fancier with each consecutive piece of artwork that we make? And that answer is not necessarily. This one's probably the fanciest costume, but that's just by coincidence. I'm trying to make each one sort of a different style of Greek art, so some of them are more traditionally, like this one's more traditionally representational. It's like comic book style almost, which is based on a type of Greek art, but the other ones are as well. So, you know, it's kind of per picture. Okay, so that's done now. I think we could probably just take the arrow and put it, so hold on. Let's grab this. We could probably just put the arrow in. I don't think there's anything wrong with our existing arrow. Maybe there is. I might want to redo it. Let's redo it. Okay. Okay. See, something about the pencils. Angle. That causes this to be messed up. Okay. What if we did something like this? Would that work? It's just not appearing. I think it's because of the bones. But it's also very small. Good. Great. Okay, now I want to pull the color. I was using 2 colors combined for this, but I want to just color pick this exact shade and then use that. As they're saying, happy early birthday in case I miss you. Thanks. Appreciate it. Good memory as well. There we go. Yeah, that's the color we got by combining my original color and a little bit of this orange. The thing about this brush is that it's like porous. There's like little holes wherever you draw, so that it has that kind of chalky texture. But the problem is when you're working at such a small size, the holes can omit a large part of what you're trying to fill in. But I do like this brush a lot. Okay, let's save it and then open it. Great. Paris is in. Gonna group these together, then group these together, then turn off this and group these together. I don't know if the groups are making the document larger or not, or like more complicated of a document. Yeah, it looks great. There's a little aberration here with the tip of the arrow. Can't get it to... There you go. And again, it's only the inside of the outline that's going to show up. So it doesn't look like anything really needs an outline except for his hair. So let's do that. Oh wait. That's okay. What is going on? Uh-oh. Crash. Yeah, unfortunately it's crashing. That's always a problem on here when you try to undo. It seems like it causes the thing to potentially crash sometimes. Alright, well, it saved what we did with our arrow. So all we gotta do is add the outline to his hair that we hadn't even done yet anyway. And that's about it. Now let's take a look at the black outline, or black background. Yeah, it's looking real cool. Okay. Now we just clean up anything that we couldn't see when the background wasn't there. Okay. Now what? I love this. It's like a difference in texture. I don't know if you can see it on camera. Like right there, there's like two pigments. I don't know what that is. Does that change when I... Yeah, really interesting. It must be doing some kind of weird thing behind the scenes. Okay. Actually, his kneecap wouldn't be there if his foot is turned like that. Let's de-emphasize his kneecap and put more emphasis on the back of his foot. Maybe like this. What else? I'm gonna fix something on his hand here too. I don't know what that black line is there. That's his left hand, so the thumb would not be doing that. It would be going like... Well, we don't really want that many lines on his hand, but maybe something like that. I don't know. Too many lines. That works. We weren't sure about that. Bow and arrow seems to work fine. For some reason, I guess I didn't draw in the line here to show the edge of the wrist guard. Great. Okay, that's another character done. Left side looking real good. Right side up next. I would like to focus on this guy, but I think... I'm not sure. It depends on how big the border is. He might not even fit in the frame. Yeah, we'll see. As you were saying, you found a website that sells Asian food products called Seiwi. Or called We. Yeah, oh, I have heard of that, yeah. It's based in LA. Yeah, they send out flyers and stuff all the time, like junk mail. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I live pretty close to a really good Japanese market, though. And I also get my rice from my rice maker delivered from Amazon. They have the nishiki rice, which is like my favorite kind. So luckily I'm kind of like in an area where I don't really need it, but yeah, if you ever give it a try, let me know what you think, like if there's any good stuff you can't get in the US. Ladies and gents, though, that's gonna do it for this one. Let's put the gray background back on. You can see where we made some course corrections here. We're not going to erase those because it looks correct with the background turned on. That's why that is happening. Good. So yeah, that's going to do it for this one. If you like what you saw, then don't forget to hit the follow button. And if you want to find out more info about the project I'm doing this for, it's !Troy in the chat. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.